Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to say a big thanks to the support in the previous videos. We're back again with another episode of Gamer Thoughts, and this one's going to be about the gaming industry and the direction it's heading in. So, you know, let's get after it. So first, I would like to start with EA, and EA. To use EA as an example, I think they have I think they won a very interesting award last year. They were voted like the worst company in America for like, was it last year? I think it was like 2018 or something. But either way, EA seemed to be, you know, it seemed like losing like what $4 billion in like 2018 would, wake them up a little bit, but it still didn't work. They went back to some of their anti-consumer practices, and now they have developers leaving. Well, they've been having developers leaving, but the people who worked on Anthem, they left before Anthem was complete, which led to a buggy mess that was literally shutting people's PlayStations off. Now you have people who were working on Dragon Age. I never played the Dragon Age games, but it has a pretty big fan base, and their devs are leaving too in the middle of the game's development. Dragon Age actually being a game that was cancelled before by EA, and then all of a sudden wasn't cancelled anymore. Now their devs are leaving, which I think it is really weird. It just goes to show, like, once you piss off your main customer, like, what matters is the customer base. It really does, and the consumers, because a lot of companies don't take their consumers into perspective, and they just shove out whatever nonsense it is that they can shove out, and make DLC, pre-made DLC for the game that should be in the game when it launches, but then they make the DLC and charge you for it anyways, which people, let me say, in like 2014 or so, maybe that would have worked, but it's 2020, and a lot of people who were playing these games back then, they're all adults now, so it's like nobody wants to be spending money on extra stuff that you cut out of the game just to then recharge them for it. It's really stupid. I mean, this next statement's gonna sound pretty crazy. I'm no financial expert or analyst or whatever, but I honestly think things have to change with the kind of people that run these companies, because if not, it's only common sense. I think EA in the next like 5 to 10 years is gonna go bankrupt, and EA won't be a thing anymore, as big as they are. Yes, because even when you play their sports games, I think their sports games are kind of the only thing still keeping them, pretty pretty stable when it comes to their balance sheets and stuff. But even FIFA and Madden and stuff, they're horrible games. There's nothing good of all those both of those games could literally be, they could be DLCs. They don't need to release a new release every year. They don't add anything to the experience. It's just trash after trash after trash, and it just, I don't know how that's gonna be sustainable. You can't do that for forever. So honestly, if something doesn't change, I really feel like they're gonna go bankrupt in like 5 to 10 years. And it's weird how Rockstar, not even Rockstar, but Take-Two Interactive tends to get away with a lot of the crap that they pull on their customer base, or on their fans or whatever, and EA gets slagged or slated for it all the time in the media, which is weird, because if anything, Take-Two are just as bad as EA with the Rockstar games and the shark cards in GTA, and then the V-Bucks in the NBA 2K games, which I don't play NBA 2K, or do I play GTA anymore. I used to play GTA like in 2013, which is like, man, almost 7 years ago. We're not going to get a new GTA anytime soon, because again, corporate greed and people they're trying to milk as much money from the franchise as possible, and it's sad to see that type of thing, man. I mean, it's not sad for the people who have stocks in it, but it's really dumb, because people who played this in 2013, who are, I think now they're now graduating college, are not going to be, I don't think they're still playing GTA up to now. They're looking for something else. But some of those people even have kids now, and you can't rely on those people to, you know, somehow steal their mom or their dad's credit cards to buy shark cards from you. It's not a sustainable business model. You have to bring out stuff that people actually want to pay money for, that actually adds to the experience, because, you know, when you don't have the customer base, I don't know where the money's going to come from. Even if you buy, they've now bought Codemasters, and they're now in charge of the company who makes project cars, and it's just, I fully expect them to run the F1 series, which is something that Codemasters makes, the grid and the dirt rallies. I fully expect them to run those franchises completely into the ground, because it's going to be just, they're gonna just rehash a bunch of nonsense in there, throw in stuff that nobody really cares about, or they'll put in stuff that people are really interested in and start charging like, I don't know, like $100 for for a car, $100 for a track or something. It's well, that's the iRacing model, but I think that's really what's going to come out of that. And like I said, it's really weird how Rockstar tends to get away with stuff like that. How But then when it comes to Ultimate Team and FIFA and stuff, they're getting and this is not me defending EA or FIFA. They're just as bad as each other, to be honest with you. I'm really happy that they've had lawsuits thrown at them to the point where in certain countries they can't sell microtransactions in the FIFA games anymore. So honestly, that's a good development. I honestly hope they keep doing that. I'm not one for super tight regulations on certain things, but like people like EA and people like Take-Two, I think they really need to have like laws crammed down on them, because they do some really weird things. You could literally spend if you're stupid enough to, you could spend $1,000 on GTA. You could spend $1,000 in real life money on GTA and literally waste that $1,000 in less than an hour trying to buy stuff in the game, and that wouldn't even buy you all the stuff in the game. So it's really messed up. But I don't know, they're doing this whole games as a service thing now, and just they don't make good products. Ubisoft as well are really bad when it comes to this stuff. When they hype up a game. They've been doing this since forever. They will hype up a game, a game with a very good concept, right? Something that could be worked on very well. They won't work on it properly, or however, I don't know. This is what I imagine, because I'm not a game developer. But the game will then come out, and you're met with this nearly 40 gigabyte patch on day one release, which means the game is like a buggy mess. And even after the patch that you get, the game's still a mess. Nothing works properly, and people have now paid like $60 to play like I don't know where else. It's weird how video game companies get away with it. I don't know what other place you can go into and pay $60 for a product and it comes out like crap. You can't go to a movie to go see the latest like Avengers movie or whatever, and you go in there and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see the movie, and you start the movie, but it's it's green screen. The effects are green screen, and tell you, oh well, come back in like 2 weeks to get the updated version of the movie. That doesn't happen anywhere else, but for some reason these video game companies can get away with it, which it's just it's dumb. It really is. But yeah, just as a common sense person, I don't see this as a very sustainable business model, because now that games are not going to be, from now on, the newer games that are going to be coming out from 2021 onwards are going to be $70 something, $75 if you buy it off the PSN store or the Xbox store, which is going to be interesting. So I don't know how you're going to convince people to spend $10 extra on a product that is defective when it comes out, wait for it to be updated, and then when they then pay $70 something for that product, then you want to charge them even more by adding DLC. That's almost, you want them to buy a season pass for like $30. So they're going to be spending like almost $200 on a game that wasn't worked on properly. And a lot of this is down to people who don't know how to vote with their wallets. You need to learn how to vote with your wallets, guys. That's just what it is. When it comes to some parts of the sim racing community, not the iRacing stands, those people are just stupid. The ones who pay like $50 for a car, like, oh my god, it's a laser scan. No, those people are dumb. I'm talking about the people who are actually objective, objective consumers, where when something is wrong, they point out that something is wrong. Where if you have a product like like the way people reacted to the Assetto Corsa stuff when it was buggy on the consoles, the people stopped playing, or the Project Cars 3 mess over at SMS, where people like, it has less players than the first game that SMS released, because people in the sim racing community they won't take the bull crap. If the game is crap, they're not going to waste their money on it, because you haven't done the work for them to want to spend the money. People work for their money, they're not going to spend their money on a defective product. Nobody wants to buy garbage, and that's what these people are pushing. They want you to spend $120 or so after the season pass and all this other stuff is done to play garbage. It's not gonna work, and that's not a sustainable business model. Either you're gonna have to start making products that are actually good, that actually have the consumer in mind, or you're just gonna have to deal with, I don't know, going bankrupt or something. And I think this games getting ruined and all this other stuff is down to people who are on the board who don't even play video games. Like the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, Strauss Zelnick, he doesn't play video games. He doesn't know anything about video games. All he knows is the working title on the game and how much money it's made. That doesn't do anything for anybody. That's how games get ruined. That's how you get FIFA Ultimate Team nonsense, and that's how you get GTA 5 shark cards. So those kind of things have to stop. And honestly, they need to become more like the sim racing community, which they just don't take any crap when it comes to it. Well, majority of them, the ones that aren't like delusional fanboys, won't take the crap. If it's a bad product, they'll say it's a bad product. But to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. I think, honestly, the way the devs have gone about the way the whole thing is, I'm not a super fanboy or whatever. I haven't even ever played a CG Project Red game. The last one I ever saw was my brother playing The Witcher Wild Hunt or whatever. But those games were good products, and they came out. The DLCs were very good, and the games themselves were pretty good. They had the bugs here and there, but that's to be expected with games these days, because I don't know, developers can't seem to release a game without like game-breaking bugs. But when that does come out, I'm going to be doing a gameplay walkthrough of it on the channel, and yeah, I hope it's good. I think that's the last hope. That's gaming's last hope. I think that's kind of the last hope. If somebody is really into video games like that, that's kind of the only thing they should probably look forward to this year, because the rest of the stuff that you have out there, the AAA stuff, it's pretty bad. I don't know how CD Projekt Red distributes their games or how they run it, but I doubt there are very many Strauss Zelnicks on their board. So yeah, I will see how Cyberpunk 2077 goes, and that's it. That's it for that video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.